Hello. We're gonna make some tier lists. I'm like really far behind on this trend because people have been doing this for years, but only recently did I start seeing the appeal of watching people make tier lists for various things. It's just very entertaining, and I felt like pretty entertaining to make too. Just a fun time, and like very low effort. I feel like making some low effort content. Hey, do you want up? Oh, no. Okay. Um, so we'll do like a variety of them. I don't think I'll make a video for each tier list, but we'll just kind of, we're gonna do anime. We'll, do some stuff. Anime slash manga. It's certainly got some anime slash manga. That had a really weird selection, actually. Now that I glance back at it, like it has Hoshiai no Sora. What? Mob Psycho, I guess, is quite complicated. It has Naruto twice. I guess this is Naruto Shippuden. Shippuden. It has Great Pretender. I don't even know what this is. I don't know how you're supposed to tell what this is. It's such a tiny ass thing. Anyways. Oh, I know what I want to do. Anime Studios. Anime Studio Comprehensive. Anime Studios we know or don't. Anime Studios. Anime Studios. Anime Studios. This one looks pretty comprehensive. This one even more. This one is smaller, but it has most of the stuff I guess I want to probably deal with. This one is kind of a middle ground too. Let's do one of maybe these will end up being like full videos in and of itself. This one has more, right? Does this have anything that this one doesn't? Okay. And of course we're going to be ready to Google ones that we don't know, like already. So we're going to put like S, A, B, C, D. Can't Judge is a good one. So what is this called? Studio 8-bit? Infinite Stratos. Oh, Yama no Susume. I've barely seen any of these. I've seen Yama no Susume, and nothing else. Oh, Hoshiai no Sora. We were just talking about that. I heard this was good. I think already we're gonna put one in the Can't Judge. A1 Pictures has done quite a lot of stuff. Just like a very major studio, very hit and miss. I think they have like a lot of teams within teams, and some of them are good and some of them are bad. But it's the kind of studio where I'm never excited to see that they're doing something that seems interesting, but I'm never like super disappointed either. So I'm gonna put them in C. ACGT. They've done a couple kind of major shows recently. Or no, who am I thinking of? Once again, I haven't really watched pretty much any of these. They're older shows generally. But of the ones I'm aware of, I don't know. Whoops. We're again putting it on Can't Judge. This I also have not heard of. Acta's Studio. Oh, they worked on Princess Principal with 3 Hertz. They did Long Riders, which was fine, but had very lackluster production values. By the way, I'm mostly judging them on what the studio itself contributes, like in terms of production values and stuff. Not so much in terms of just how good the show is overall. Like, if there's a really, really good show that's really good despite having horrible production, that's not really going to bump up the studio that much. They did Girls on Panzer, which I like. They look like they did some shoujo stuff. They did an SMT adaptation that I didn't even know existed. I think for the strength of Girls and Panzer alone, we're going to put this in C tier. Because Girls and Panzer, I think, has quite nice production. Just the way they do the tanks, the character animation has always been really good in them. Just a very good sense of like fun and liveliness in all their work. And I think the fact that they collaborated with like B Media and 3 Hertz on some really good shows means they have some kind of significance in it. This is another super boomer studio. Some absolute classics, Tenchi. Bubblegum Crisis. Ooh, Now and Then here and there. So shows that generally have aged quite well with really atmospheric stuff, really good animation. As they go into the modern era, suddenly they're hit by the big degen hammer and we get Amigami, which is just, an eroge. Strike Witches, which is a pervert show for perverts. Pervert show for perverts, pervert show for perverts, pervert show for perverts. Suddenly, a very touching, striking story about post-World War II Japan. And then, no idea, pervert show for perverts, pervert show for perverts, pervert show for perverts, so on and so forth. Definitely some bangers laid in this, though. This is a really cool show with really cool animation. Yeah, I think it looks like they subsidized into something else. They whoa. What? What does this mean? I guess they put it in some sort of format, and then there's something on the table that puts all of the dates in this format, but the date they put in wasn't formatted right, and then it came up with this hilarious thing. I think for the strength of these like classics, which still hold up really well, and the strength of these occasional like banger type shows, like this is probably pretty cool animation for all I know. We can put them at least in B tier. I think B tier is fine. Agia Do Studio. This is another fairly boomer series. Kikushi Goto, they did recently, I really liked. They were able to really kind of capture a lot of the things that Shaft did and SZS that I liked, which is not an easy task. I didn't know this was getting an adaptation, but it's pretty popular. A really weird mix of shows. I tried watching this and I wasn't that interested, but the animation was quite nice. This might have to be I could not judge because I just haven't seen enough of it. Oh, you're scratching the correct thing. I don't even have to bother you. How lovely. I've done quite a lot of films, but I haven't seen any of them. Do you want up? Yeah, I think you want up. I think we'll put this in Can't Judge. I have no idea what this is. APPP Studio. I gotta say, the Wikipedia articles on anime studios are very impressive, very comprehensive, even for pretty minor studios like this that have only done a few shows. I don't know any of these. This looks like it's part of the Fist of the North Star universe. That looks right. They did the old JoJo's OVA. That's kind of cool. And one of the more recent films, but not the current extremely popular JoJo adaptation. I think this is another Can't Judge. Studio Arms. Again, a lot of boomer shows that I don't know. These are perhaps for boomer perverts. I think La Blue Girl is an eroge. Wordsworth guy. Yeah, these all look like eroge. Oh, it's literally hentai. Okay, and then these are their quote-unquote non-hentai series, but we see like Queen's Blade here, and this all very much speaks for itself. So we can't judge. I genuinely can't judge something like that for a number of reasons. Artland Studio. Hitman Reborn, Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Those are some pretty major series. They did Milky Holmes, which I watched a bit of. It's pretty entertaining, centering Kagura, a noted pervert show for perverts. And the recent Seven Deadly Sins series, which people praised. And they did Mushishi. So it was kind of all over the map. Definitely some things that I don't think really... I don't know. They did a Macross adaptation. I think we're going to put this in Can't Judge either, because the things that we would praise this the most for, this studio, I haven't seen their like hits. I'm only just more familiar with the animation quality of their like pervert show for perverts. So I can't say too much about them. This is definitely going to be the biggest category. Man, this is going to take like a long time. I thought this was going to be like easy breezy content, but oh well, that's interesting. Did I spell that right? Asahai Studio. Oh, kitty. Oh, Panda Piece. This is bad. This I heard was kind of dragged down by its production quality. They do like, yeah, mostly pretty uninteresting stuff. Maybe studios that I just haven't heard of, we can just like immediately put into here, because like, I don't know. But I want to learn about all of them. Can't judge. Well, no, I don't know. What I have seen has been bad, but it hasn't been much. So I don't know what to make of that. As Red Studio? Man, we're not even through the A's though, and it's been like 12 minutes. I think we're gonna just like do ones that I've heard of. And if I'm like pretty sure I've heard of them, we'll look into it some more. Like B Train, I know I've seen shows by B Train. I just can't think of what they are. Oh, Metabots! Wow! Phantom Requiem for the Phantom. I watched that too, but I don't know. Alright, I want to actually rate this. Studio Bones. Okay, here's an A tier one. Bones has had some absolutely fantastic shows like Mob Psycho. Usually very expressive, lots of Sakuga, really, really cool use of like mixed media, like really going all out with breaking diegesis to just make the most expressive, emotionally compelling show popular. Easy A tier. Not every one of their shows is that creative, is that like masterpiece quality, but it's always solid at the very least, which is good. Brains Base does like Steins Gate and stuff. What else have they done? Spice and Wolf. They did do Steins Gators, right? Am I insane? What? Really? They didn't do Steins Gate? Who did Steins Gate? Wait, really? White Fox did Steins Gate? What the heck? Okay, what did Brain Base do? This, which I don't watch. This, which I don't watch. A bunch of Duel Masters stuff. Penguin Drum. I really like Penguin Drum. I like Princess Jellyfish, but I've just read the manga. Natsume's Book of Friends I've been wanting to watch. Spice and Wolf people like. I guess this is a Can't Judge. Bridge Studio, I don't know what that is. We gotta move along here. Sea Station sounds familiar. Oh, I was already looking them up for some reason. Oh, because they do Eurocamp. Right, okay. Well, they haven't done much besides Eurocamp, but Eurocamp is extremely excellently produced, so it gets a B tier just off the strength of that. C2C has done quite a few things too that I've seen, I thought. I tried watching this and it wasn't very good. But they did Bochi, which is great. This was pretty mediocre. This was silly. I've seen a decent amount of their stuff, but they haven't actually put out that much stuff. C2C can get a C. The only one that really impressed me in terms of production value of these things that I've seen is Bochi. This had some good Sakuga, but like, just, I don't know, it just had like a really awkward feel to the animation. It never really felt alive or compelling in a meaningful way. Okay, Cloverworks, this is a tough one because I would have given them like C or D. But then Wonder Egg was insanely good in terms of production. It was one of the best produced shows I've seen like ever from any studio, which is insane. And Shadow's House has been pretty good so far, and my friend is also working on another Cloverworks project that he says is pretty good. So I think they can go into B tier now. Comics Wave Studios, that sounds familiar. Shorts. Kimi no Now. Oh, this is the... Oh, this is the studio that does those, you say. Oh, well... I don't really like these Shinkai films. I'll be real with you. I don't particularly enjoy them. I think they're pretty, though. I think they're extremely well animated and produced. So in that sense, they can get an A tier. There's nothing super creative about how they're directed. It's kind of just like a very pretty live action movie with some fantastical action sequences that couldn't be done in live action. And that's all right. I think that's like my minimum for what I want from anime. But what I really want is something that's a lot more creative than that, and how they present things, how they express things, that it's not just kind of like a lot of shots that could exist in live action. But in terms of this sort of animated live action style, I can't think of many studios that do it better than that. Connect, they don't even have a proper logo. I have no idea what they do. Creators and Pack Inc. No idea. No idea. I would like to look up all of these. It would be such a long video. I really underestimated how long this would take. How much stuff I'd want to say. I don't know this either. This sounds pretty familiar. They're doing the JoJo's adaptations. Well, the JoJo's adaptations are really well done. They don't have like the insane amount of Sakuga or anything, but they know like how to depict it. See, this is what I'm talking about, creative depiction, that this is like very, very far removed from something that would be done in live action. That they're always kind of bending the rules of their own animation to just kind of like portray an emotional scene rather than just a depiction of reality, which is something the original JoJo's manga is very praised for as well. This was like okay production-wise. The action scenes were kind of underwhelming. They did really, they did this too. I didn't know that. X Boku I've heard has pretty good animation. I haven't watched it, but I've seen clips of it that are nice, and they did. This Strike Witches series, Strike Witches actually has decent animation, even though it is a pervert show for perverts. Yeah, I'd say these guys are pretty solid. I think they're solidly B tier. Diomedia? What did they do again? Oh, this stuff. Okay. I watched some of this and it was pretty funny. But I would not say, to the extent that I've seen these shows, not really any of them has had amazing Sakuga. This had really, really disappointing production. They could have made it like intense and epic and, amazing shots of waves and seafaring battles, but it was very boring and plain. This had nice animation. Just really, really fun character animation and good action. A good sense of like speed and impact and stuff when she uses her tentacles. So a mixed bag. This had actually really nice production, really good character animation, very expressive. And a lot of pervert shows for perverts, which generally they do not have good animation. From what I've seen, I guess a C. DLE. I think I've just not heard of that enough. Okay, Doga Kobo. It's a contender. I'm not talking a contender for can't judge. I've seen pretty much every Dogakobo show over the last few years. D, no way. C, no way. B, you'll think, oh, yeah, they mostly make like slice of life series. It's mostly 4 Koma adaptations. There's not really much you can do about that. It's just, characters chilling, making jokes and stuff. But no, the Sakuga, the character animation, the backgrounds, the richness, the sense of pacing in their direction, the amount of love and liveliness they put into all of their character depictions. Oh, it's going into S-Class even, our first S-Class contributor. Am I ranking these within tiers? I think I will. Like something like this. All right. Drop, I don't know what that is. EMT Square, I don't know. Encourage Films? I don't know what that is. I'm pretty sure I don't. Sure. Feel? Feel sounds kind of familiar. But it's like pretty generic, so who knows. Oh, they make that show? I thought we already saw the studio that made that show. I thought that was Brain Base. Oh, Dagashi Kashi, Hinamatsuri. These both have very fun animation. Very expressive. Galko-chan. The way they did Galko-chan I thought was fantastic. A really good way of like looking at the uniqueness and eccentricities of the manga and knowing that they can't really convey the manga directly in animation, but like adapting it, coming up with like a brand new creative way to get the same feel and the same uniqueness of the manga across in this new medium. Bikini Warriors. Oh boy. Okay. This was nice too. This had really nice animation. Very lively, very, very kind of like kind character portrayals where they're really allowed to express themselves. I started watching this and it actually had really good production value. I might finish watching it at some point. No, this is seeming good. I think this is like a solid C. From what I've seen and the shows I haven't seen, I have like a decent feeling about. Sime animation, I don't know what that is. I don't even know how to read this. What does that say? Gryplax? What? I'm just gonna search for this and see. Gravlax? No. Oh. Oh. No. What? Okay. Can't judge. Alright. Gainax? Come on now. The studio that Anno built. If this was anything besides S tier, I think we would have to disable my YouTube account from all of the well-deserved hate I would receive. Now you might say, oh, they made Evangelion. What else? Oh, how soon we forget how far Gainax's reputation extends into the past, into the future. If we can count the Daikon openings, the Daikon 3 and Daikon 4, they were just openings. I don't know. I already said opening and then I forgot the word opening. The videos that they played at the start of the convention. If we count those as Gainax productions, then already they're S tier. But, working with Shaft on some of their first projects, His and Her Circumstances, a classic of shoujo love comedy. And then into the future with such insanity as Gurren Lagann, Panty and Stocking. The Medaka Box adaptation, I don't think was that bad either. I watched a decent amount of it, and then I was like, I'm just going to read the manga. Even this Pleiades show, I tried to watch it. It was pretty disappointing, but they had some pretty beautiful moments in it. Stuff that I still felt like, it's some of the same people. It's some of the same people that were working all the way back in the 90s on these immortal classics. And of course, FLCL. Another totally unique classic. Otaku no Video, I've heard, is fantastic too. A friend of mine just ordered it on VHS. He's going to do like a better rip than exists. Other classics like Gunbuster, Super Mech type stuff. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, that's an easy S tier. Don't know what this is. Don't know what this is. Don't know what this is. Studio Gonzo. Whew. They've done a lot of shows that I like. But it's a lot of shows that I like in spite of Gonzo's involvement. Is there anything where I'm like, damn? Well, their earlier stuff, sure. Like Full Metal Panic, not as good as the KyoAni Full Metal Panic, of course, but Kitty Grade, there's like some real classic type stuff. Welcome to the NHK is like fantastic, and it actually has quite good production, but nothing shockingly good. It's more just the strength of the story. The original Strike Witches, Saki. Saki has some moments in it, production-wise, that I think are actually really fantastic. Just the effects and sound effects they use when they're drawing the tiles and stuff. But then there's some really god-awful stuff, like Akiba's Trip. Vaguely interested in the show. Some of the concepts kind of interested me, that they would go to all sorts of different hobbyist stores and look at how they were surviving the zombie apocalypse. When I say it out loud, it sounds stupid, but the production was enough to make me want to quit. And I think that's true for a lot of other random shows on here, where there's a lot of interesting properties they adopted, but kind of just pushed it out. Man, I remember this manga from when I was a little kid. Yeah, I don't know. Music, oh, they did the Breaking the Habit Linkin Park video. I think this is like a D. Just so many mediocre shows. Some good shows, but I'm definitely the exception rather than the rule. I can't even read this. I don't know what this is. HAL Filmmaker. Oh, HAL Labs. I love HAL Labs. S tier. HAL Filmmaker. Been around for a while. Aria. Sketchbooks Full Colors. These are nice shows, nicely animated shows, but not phenomenally animated shows. They're just good at what they are. They don't need to have that much animation because it's mostly just characters relaxing. Off the strength of those alone, though, I'm still willing to give it like a C tier. Just because that's not easy to do. Like, we talk about animation, and I don't want you to think that's just Sakuga. There's also a quality of animation in restraint. There's quality in production from building an atmosphere, from building a tone, from understanding pacing. And that's almost the hardest in these series, where like very, very little is happening. And if they're able to pull off that really healing sense with that comes a lot from the production. It's not just the writing or the characters or whatever. Don't know what this is. Idea Factory. What do they do again? Bunch of Neptune. Bunch of stuff I don't know about. Alright. No. Don't know. JC Staff, just like A1 and PA Works. I think of those three kind of together. Their names sound quite similar too. Again, it's like a studio that has a lot of hits and a lot of misses. And I think putting them around where A1 is pretty reasonable. A little ahead, because JC Staff will like really turn it on when it's necessary. But they have a lot of duds too. Kamikaze Doga, who did Pop Team Epic and now Dino Gal, is an easy A for me. I think we put it ahead of these guys too. These are like the exact opposite. Comics Wave, of course, just kind of going that super realistic, super pretty style, and Kamikaze Doga employing AC Boo, who is the exact opposite of all those things. Really excited about the prospects of the studio. I really hope they keep doing adaptations of weird cult manga in these explosively creative, many-faceted ways. Kinema Citrus. What all did they do again? Made in Abyss. Oh, and Shield Hero. Barakamon. This has really, really nice production. Really wonderful character acting. Character animation stuff. Gochiusa has pretty nice acting too. This has really fantastic animation. As does this. As does this. Yeah, this is a good studio. This had really, really good production value. Even though everybody says the character designs look stupid. Just fantastic soundtrack, fantastic action. Yeah. Show by Rock. I think has like really interesting CG. Really lively action. This is all good. Yeah, this is a good studio. I kind of underestimated how good this studio was, but I think they can go at the top of B tier. I think they're kind of the opposite of Cloverworks, where they're consistently good, but none of these shows have absolutely like blown me away. I guess the closest, like the Made in Abyss movie, was pretty amazing. Sakuga. But yeah, I'd say this is a solid, at the top of B tier. They certainly have the potential to start making masterpieces. All right, we all saw this coming. Going straight to the top. Over Gainax. Controversial, but I mean, come on. It's what do I have to say? It's KyoAni. Just the further you go back in looking at their, let's look. No. Just to make my point. Just to make my point. Just look. Dude, they did Clannad. They were doing Clannad way back in 2007. And then they did Hyoka. And then they did K-On! Then they did Maid Dragon. Then they did this, which I didn't even like, but oh my gosh, it was so well animated. They did Nichijou. They did Free. They did Lucky Star. They did Chunibyo, which again, you can say is a whatever show, but the animation in it is god tier. Same with this. Then you just have shows that are just god tier overall, that really actually flex their directorial skills and their ability to find really beautiful stories to adapt. This, I think, was part of their light novel competition. All the way back with Air and the FMP wacky season. My god. No, easy S tier. Easy S tier. Easy S tier. Okay. La Douce. What all did they do? La Douce? Oh yeah, that's the Y. Oh, this was nice. I like this a lot. This had very good character animation. They did the Yuri Yuri OVA, but not the original series, which was Dogokobo, and not the other ones, which was like TLC Studio or whatever. They did Release the Spice, which I heard was good and has Nomori character designs, but I didn't watch it. I think this will go in the Can't Judge. I haven't really seen Lurche. What do they do again? Oh, Sass Class. Monster Musume. Because no Honkai, this again, these like really dramatic shows, they live or die based on how well they can express the characters. And this was pretty good. Same with Gakugarashi, really good character expression. Asobi Asobe, this is really fun, very creative production, kind of like a Studio Bones type feel, and just how wild they went with it. Carnival Phantasm, another just like very nice wacky show. Kino no Tabi. Adaptation of a classic that didn't make everyone mad, which is quite the feat. This had pretty nice animation, a little plain. And this! Oh, they did this! I think this has really lovely animation. It's a show that you can tell is low budget, but they made all of the budget work for them in really creative ways that still brings across like a really rich, lovely atmosphere. This is good. This is, I think, the lower end of B tier or the top end of C tier. Maybe we'll put it low end of B tier. Okay. Ooh, Lyndon Films. A name that I find myself seeing more and more often as I look at shows I'm interested in. They did the original Miss Monochrome and Woozer. Those are very fun. What was it that... Oh, they were doing this, which I was kind of curious about because it's the same mangaka as Your Lie in April. This was fine. I think this is going to be a Can't Judge, though, really, because I haven't seen... I think this was the Berserk series that everyone hated. But most of these I just have not seen. This was good. Is this what I think it is? Yeah, yeah. If you don't know this series, it's like wacky as hell. I'm a big fan. It's an idol group, but they're just like inanimate busts that they have to cart around. And they just like prop them up on stage. Yeah. All right. This I guess is like high C tier. Maybe around here. Madhouse, say top of A tier. Yeah, I think top of A tier is good. They've produced some absolute masterpieces. And they really don't miss. No, you know what? No, I think this actually has to be S tier now that I'm looking at it again. Even they, and you know what I love? They still do stuff like this, which is not like a big slam dunk global crossover hit type show, and they put so much love into it. And the movies, always cranking out god tier movies. A little one you might have heard of called Redline. 10 hand-drawn years. They did some Satoshi Kon adaptations, which are phenomenal. Oh, what am I saying? Yeah, this is S tier. Kind of want to put him above Dogakobo. This is where my bias comes in, because the quality of Madhouse... No, it's not even true, because they did freaking Cardcaptor Sakura, too. they can do Moe with the best of us. Oh, nah. Well, I don't know. There's stuff that Dogakobo's doing that's like very specifically what I see as like pushing the things I love most about anime in exciting new directions. Whereas Madhouse, I love a lot of their projects, but it's not what is like particularly uniquely emotionally resonant with me in anime. Nah, I think this configuration is fine. Man Globe? What's Man Globe? Ah. They did the Twalk animation. Samurai Flamenco, I've heard this has really good animation. I I ended up watching like a ton of the original Hayate when I was a kid, but I guess they didn't do that. They did Samurai Champloo. The Watanabe shows, I don't really understand who gets to adapt them. I guess he just kind of like throws them around. And Ergo Proxy is like a classic, of course. I feel like I started watching this at some point. This one I'm gonna say can't judge. Even though I've heard of a lot of those shows, I haven't actually watched all that many of them. Mappa. Okay. Mappa is either... I want to put it here, like where I put Madhouse, but I think it's going to be another one where when I start like actually looking at all their shows, I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute, this is S tier. Jujutsu Kaisen, they're doing the current this. Oh, well, I don't know. These are definitely like tons of Sakuga type shows. Like really explosively good animation. No, I think I'll leave it where it is. They did, that's right. They did Take You. Well, really, just the mangaka of Take You did like the entirety of the Take You anime. But I think I'll put them over Bones, though. Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay. Miru Panze. Miru Panze? I don't know what that is. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. Nippon Animation. I'm sure. Oh yeah, they just do like a lot of classic shonen stuff. Oh, they're doing this. I'm watching this. It's fine. Nah, I don't know. This is a can't judge, I suppose. Nomad. That's... Oh, they're doing Megalobox 2 and a bunch of boomer shows. And they did this weirdo show for weirdos. And they did this show with an unfortunate acronym. And they did more Milky Homes with JC Staff et al. Well, you know, this will put them in the can't judge. Nut is the one that did Decadence and the one about the girl that reincarnates as it's like a businessman reincarnates as this little girl during World War I and leads the German army to victory. What is that series called? I sound like a psychopath saying that out loud, but that's the Saga of Tanya the Evil, the FL Sealed sequel that everyone told me not to watch, and Decadence, which I actually really liked. So I don't know. Decadence had pretty good production. Maybe this could be like mid. I think they're kind of around like Lyndon Films and C2C, where the capability for greatness seems to be there, but so far they haven't done much that interests me. I don't know what this is. There's probably ones that I actually have heard of, and they do a lot of like shows that are interesting to me, and then I'm just like skipping them because I'm too lazy to look it up, but whatever. Orange Studio? That sounds familiar. Anime. Oh, right, yeah, they do all the CG shows. Like Beastar's first and second season, and these are the ones I've seen. Everything else, no idea what's going on. It seems like they really came into their own once they embraced that like CG style. But those are really good, and I feel like they're going to keep making good stuff. So I'm going to put them in B tier. Their strengths, of course, are very different than a typical anime studio's strengths. But they're making really interesting projects, and I'm excited to see where they go from here. Or Debt? Don't know. PA Works, I think is just the strongest of the JC Staff PA Works A1 Pictures little two-letter, two-character type things. And I feel the same way about them, that they make a wide variety of shows. Some of them are really, really good. I think PA Works, nah, you know what? They're consistently stronger than the other two studios. I'd actually put them all the way up here. Let's confirm. Because they have done a lot of shows, but all of the shows I can think of that they've done right now, and it's like, oh no, that one was pretty good too. Oh no, that one was pretty good too. Like Shirobako. And this I started watching, and it actually had really good animation, but couldn't be bothered. This was nice. This had good production, but I stopped watching it. This looks like it'll be good. My friend is working on it. This had really nice production, I remember. Just a very pretty show. They actually haven't made as many shows as I thought. This again was like very... This show was like very underwhelming, but it had nice production. Yeah. Yeah, here. We'll put the tier division between them, but I still kind of rank all of these studios around the same. Passione, I don't know. Perriot? I think this is like a super boomer studio. They do like shonen. GTO. Boomer shonen for boomers because I am a boomer. Oh, Otsumatsu-stan. I've heard this is really good, and it looks like it has really fun production, but I haven't watched it. I don't know. I don't think I can judge. I've watched very, very few of these things. Pine Jam? I've never heard of it, but I want to look it up just because that's a cool name. The Gamers... okay. Sure. Have not watched any of those. Platinum Vision sounds really familiar. What did they do? Okay. No. Okay. Production IG, even though it has like a similar name is PA Works, JC Staff, A1 Pictures. I think they're definitely a tier above. They worked on SNK with Studio Wit. Haikyuu, I've heard, has really fantastic animation. This was a very disappointing show, but not because of its animation, which was great. They worked on a lot of classic shows with studios that are kind of more highly credited for it. This had really nice animation. And actually the whole show was really nice. It's just what happens after the show ends that's very disappointing and uncomfortable. Love Hina, some freaking classics. These Pokemon Origin shorts were really good, really exciting. Some of the best depictions of like Pokemon content and or Pokemon combat and animation. This was nice. Dead Leaves has some absolutely crazy animation. Lagrange. What are these sorted by? Most members, I see. Yeah, I'd say maybe around here. IMS, I don't know. Read, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Science Saru is an interesting one because pretty much all their shows are fantastic. They don't really make all that many shows. Now that Yuasa has stepped down from the head of Science Saru, be very curious what their output becomes like. But they've done shows without Yuasa as well. And a lot of them are pretty good. But yeah, like 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. This was fantastic too. This was really beautiful. This felt like Yuasa trying to make a Shinkai movie. And I liked it way more than any Shinkai movie. But it has the same sort of feeling of like cramming 12 genres into it and just focusing on making it really, 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 really pretty. But it was a much more interesting story and a lot more emotionally resonant than Shinkai stories have ever been for me. This was fantastic too. I absolutely adore this movie. And this my friend is working on. We'll see what it's like. I'm pretty excited. Okay. Wait, is it? No. My friend's working on something else. Because this one is Yuasa, and my friend is working on a non-Yuasa project. Anyways. Where did I put them? Yeah, no, I agree with that. Don't know what this is. Don't know what this is. Alright. Shaft. This is actually why I thought to do this. Because I was talking to some people about Shaft. And I was like, man, Shaft is such a weird studio. Like, such extremes. I don't know why I searched for it here. I actually kind of want to search for it here. I'm curious what their most popular shows are. Wow, Head Tilt is one of the first things. Alright. Let me get target. Nisekoi. There's Sangatsu. Nice. You love to see it. This was a weird show, but again, the animation was so interesting, so creative, so much work done. Never just the default choice. Never just, oh, here's what it looks like, but something that conveys like a real sense of uniqueness to how they present each scene. Same with this. What is the plot? I don't know. It's stupid. Shaft has certainly fallen off really hard with their last few shows. The friggin' Assault Lily and Magia Record. But Magia Record actually had really interesting production still. It still kind of felt like a Madoka show. It's just the plot was extremely stupid. And now they're doing Pretty Boy Detective Agency, which has phenomenal production again. So it's all good. Shaft is back. We don't know. Hidamari's Sketch, I think, has the best production of any slice of life show ever. That's saying a lot. Yeah, Shaft, to me, is going all the way to the top. These two are really hard. In terms of variety, Shaft wins out, but it's actually pretty close. KyoAni makes such an insane range of shows too. But I think just Shaft's devotion to really pushing the limits of like how animation is made. Yeah, put it there. Oh, these are the people that did Molcar. Or they were involved in Molcar. Right? Maybe? I think. They did these as well. A bunch of Doraemon stuff. They did this? What? I was just talking to my friend about this show. I keep saying my friend, but I'm actually referring to like a whole bunch of different people. I have more than one friend. Molcar, AOTY, God Tier Anime, a whole bunch of Doraemon. This I think will go in the Can't Judge. Shirogumi Inc. That sounds very familiar. Oh. Lots of weird type shows. Yes, yes. Well, I don't disapprove of that. But I haven't really watched any of these, so. Shuka Studio, I don't know. Signal, I don't know. Silverlink. I think Silverlink is sort of like Gonzo in that I've never been super impressed with their actual production ability. It's more that they just get a lot of adaptations that I like, and they don't screw them up completely. This had some nice stuff. Non-Berry is like very pretty. No, you know what? As I was saying about like Aria and Sketchbook Full Colors, it's not just about Sakuga and stuff. It's about being able to convey like a feeling, about a tone, an atmosphere. And they do that really well on like Non-Berry and Tanaka-kun, and in a much different way on Watamote. And I remember this being kind of interesting too. There was like the meme line. And I'm sure if the production was terrible, I would have dropped it a lot sooner than I did. They did this pervert show for perverts. They did this insane... what's his face? What? Why can't I think of that guy's name? Oh, hello. Ikuhara. It's very hard to do an Ikuhara adaptation, but they were very strong on this one. Why doesn't Shaft do Ikuhara shows? I think that's the collaboration that makes sense. This is a really weird show, but it had some pretty funny production moments. It has like really surreal elements. There's one where they get like warped into a giant board game, and one of the characters is in love with the silhouette of a person on a construction sign. Yeah, some bangers. Okay. This is, to me, solidly C tier, somewhere around here. Studio 3 Hertz. Ooh. Okay, Flip Flappers, fantastic. Princess Principal, fantastic. What's it called? White Fox? What else have they done? I feel like I haven't like kept up with them lately. Black Fox. That was close. This is pretty good too. Pretty cool production at least. Wait, I want to check my it didn't pop up there anyways. This was much more of a marathon video than I anticipated. I don't know, I just didn't think it through. I was like, oh, I'm sure I'll just kind of be able to breeze through all of these and just plop them up on the tier list. But A, I think all of the tier list content I've been watching on YouTube is edited. And then B, when have I ever been brief about anything? I always just ramble on endlessly about everything I'm talking about. Anyways, this is going to go like mid C tier. Some definite hits. Some definite misses. And then just mostly like, what are they doing? Where are the Princess Principal movies? What is going to happen? Why did they adapt Sword Art Online? Granted, it's a Sword Art Online spin-off, but this has no appeal to me. Signal, I don't know what that is. Studio A-Cat, Studio Comment. Okay, Studio Dean. I think of also like Studio Gonzo, where they have a lot of adaptations I like, and then it's just like, oh, Studio Dean is doing it. Konosuba has some nice moments, some really wacky character animation, which I like. but overall, like, not really that impressive. Like, all of the action scenes are really boring, I think, in Konosuba. It just really comes down to how well they can do the comedy. They did a lot of very boomer shows, which generally hold up okay. This I've heard is like a sublime masterpiece, and I should watch it. But I haven't really heard much about the production. Nobody is praising that to me. This is a very beloved show to me because it was one of the first mainstream Yuri series. But its production is not great. This series is also very beloved to me because for some reason when I was a little kid, I could not read this manga enough. Something about a story of a boy that can turn into a girl was like extremely compelling to me. I cannot imagine why. But I never watched the anime, or I tried to watch the anime and I didn't really feel interested in it. Just the manga seemed way better. So yeah, I would say most of the impression that Studio Dean Animation has made on me has been negative. And it's just that some shows I still quite like, despite the mediocre, lackluster animation. But it is charming, you know? It's charmingly bad, but it's still bad. I'll put it here. Studio Fantasia, I don't know what that is. Studio Gallop, I don't know what that is. Studio Ghibli, I don't know what that is. Haha, just kidding. Ghibli is also S tier. Where do I put it among these guys? There's an argument for it just to be here. Alright, I guess we have to put it there. No, I mean, how do you really argue with that, though? Just the legacy, the number of outright classics. And again, we're focusing not just on how much I like it overall, but what the animation and the production contributes to it. And in that regard, like, it's very hard to debate that these are like some of the most beautifully animated movies just ever. And such creative depictions too. It's not trying to replicate live action. It's not trying to replicate like big budget Hollywood, but instead it is just like an extremely rich, extremely unique perspective on life. Something like I think you compare like Shinkai projects with Comics Wave to Ghibli projects. And I don't know, like take Whisper of the Heart, I guess, is maybe a good example that has a lot of character animation, a lot of just like slice of life animation, a lot of focus on like backgrounds of just urban areas, people's houses, interiors, building up like a sense of life through the animation. Which is also something that like Shinkai does a lot in his works before like the big ridiculous action scenes start. And it's like, I don't know, it just feels like the Studio Ghibli kind of attempts in these directions are just so much more rich, so much more charming, so much more uniquely animated instead of, again, just like live action techniques being applied to animation. Just the directorial quality of like always really highlighting an atmosphere that would be impossible to create without anime. And then we talk about these like that or Spirited Away or Totoro, that range into fantasy. But then there's also like the epics, the Castle in the Sky, Nausicaa. It's very, very difficult to justify putting this anywhere else. Like, I mean, I'm gonna prefer watching Shaft shows or KyoAni shows most of the time. I'm like more excited about a Shaft show or a KyoAni show. But in terms of like what they're able to accomplish in animation, I still got to give it up to the masters here. All right, moving on. Studio Gokumi. That sounds very familiar. Mm-hmm. Ah, okay. Some cute slice of life stuff. This had some kind of exciting Sakuga. This was extremely middling, but fine. Fine. Again, I have such a weak spot to Saki. Whenever they're just like, and there's like that little halo effect around the tile and stuff. Mahjong is so cool. Yeah, they're not bad. they're not good either. Somewhere around here. Kind of different than Studio 3 Hertz, where they haven't really made any masterpiece type quality productions, but all of these are perfectly acceptable that I've watched. I don't know what that is. 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 Okay, Sunrise. It's a mixed bag. They certainly have some shows that are largely lauded based on their Sakuga. They have some absolute god tier classics, Cowboy Bebop, an extremely beautifully animated series. Their modern stuff is a lot more degen, but such is life. This has fun animation for being such a silly show. This has really good animation. Actually, the more I look, the more Sunrise actually is just hit after hit. What can I really dispute here? It's all either like boomer shows that just have like classically good animation, or stuff like Rabu Raibu, where you would think it's kind of uninspired and kind of it's just like another CG dancing idol show, but they actually put a lot of work into like character Sakuga and stuff. Looking like A tier. Yeah, maybe like this. Okay. Synergy, I don't know what that is. Tatsunoko. Oh, they do like tons of super classic shows. Super classic stuff. They worked on these series too. A lot of collaborations on major things. This I've heard is fantastic, but I haven't watched it yet. I've heard it has really nice animation. I thought they had more like boomer stuff, but I guess we're gonna get to that later. Yeah, like look at this. Go all the way back to the 70s. Difficult to judge something like this. Because all of these boomer shows I haven't seen, but I know they're hugely influential. But back then, it's not like things were made or break. Would make or live or die based on their animation quality. It was more just that it was a franchise that people loved and it was on TV. But the stuff they've done lately has been pretty quality. I feel bad really judging it all though, because I can't really talk about the strength of those boomer shows. And stuff like this, where they're like collaborating on shows that I like, I don't really know what to attribute to them. And a lot of the other shows that people praise lately, like Gatchaman Crowds, I haven't watched. Tezuka Productions has done some cool stuff lately. And of course is like the OG anime studio. The Gashi Gashi. This was fine. They do all of the Tezuka adaptations, of course. Other legendary manga. I wonder if I should watch this. I feel like it would just disappoint me. It's one of my favorite manga of all time. I can't really imagine it being adapted in a way that's gonna bring across the qualities of the manga that I like. But yeah, going all the way back to Tezuka's projects that he made while he was alive, into the 70s. Eventually we'll see the original Wonder Boy Astro. I'm kind of surprised we haven't run into it already. But yeah, I think this is another can't judge, because I haven't watched these old Tezuka adaptations. My understanding is that they're like kind of low budget and more just for the novelty of animating. But I love the manga, of course. TMS. What has TMS done? Oh, another Super Legacy series. Now they're doing Dr. Stone. They've been active the whole time. But no, let's look at the chronological list. It'll take too long to get to the Boomer series. They did the Moomin adaptation. They did the original Lupin stuff. They did the original Tomorrow's Joe, and they did Megalobox. This is very impressive. They did the Sonic X. They did Sonic X. Wow. We were talking about Sonic X recently too. I haven't. This is gonna be a can't judge. I really haven't seen many of these. What movies have they done? I feel like probably it's more movies that I would have seen. Or not. It's all the Conan movies, all the Lupin movies, and all the Anpan movies. Why did it show up with Akira? Did they do Akira? I've seen Akira. Akira, okay. I see. all over the map. TWK, I don't know about that. Okay, Toei. Toei has had some absolute masterpieces. Like, oh, we just watched it. Why can't I think of what it's called? Kyoso Giga. Kyoso Giga is one of the most amazingly animated series I've seen. Just a completely shaft tier creativity in terms of depiction and atmosphere and creating a setting and everything. But mostly they just do like long run-in shonen series and they just phone it in really hard. Like One Piece. Like most of these. So, I don't know. I gotta give it like a D. Like, yes, Kyoso Giga. But what else? What else is on that tier? I think that's just an anomaly. That's the exception that proves the rule. Like, what else? Like, really? What of any of these have good animation? Maybe some of them do. I don't know. But I kind of doubt it. It's all just like shonen series. They're adapting with the mentality of, well, this is a popular manga, so kids will watch this. Tokyo Kids, I don't know. Triangle Staff, I don't know. Trigger! Oh, Trigger. Oh, I love Trigger so much. It's such a wild studio. I love their serious shows. I love their shitposty shows. I love when they evoke the spirit of Gainax. I love when they seem to completely poop on the legacy of Gainax's beautiful Sakuga and an amazing richness and detail by making like a 2-frame entire scene. Oh yeah, Trigger, easy S tier. Where would I put it among S tier? I think either right before or right after Gainax. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe more like this. Because they don't really have the legacy of Madhouse yet. I think, yeah, that seems fair. Troika, what did they do again? Oh, okay. Bloom Into You is nice. Recreators, I've heard, has some pretty nice Sakuga. I think they have a lot of potential. I'd put them in this kind of zone. Ufotable has some amazing action Sakuga. I think it's mostly held back by the fact that they mostly are just making things I don't like. So I'm not super interested in what they're doing or not doing. Like, I don't watch Demon Slayer and I don't watch Fate stuff, so I don't really know how I'm to be involved with Ufotable. But I'm still going to rank them because I've seen enough Sakuga compilations and stuff to understand what they're capable of. And someday there will be a show that I would want to watch that they made. Maybe I will watch the Demon Slayer movie. I'm liable to do anything. Maybe like here. Maybe like here. Wow World. I don't know about that. White Fox apparently did Steins Gate. And they've done a lot of other good stuff too. Like Silver Spoon. Let's look at this one. They did ReZero, but I can forgive them for that. This had really nice animation quality. This was really, really fun to watch. This was a beautiful, beautiful series. They did Gojiusa. They did this, which was absolutely terrible animation, but whatever. I can forgive them for that too. Yeah, I thought they did more. I thought they did Silver Spoon. Where's Silver Spoon? Or is that Silverlink? I think I get White Fox and Silverlink mixed up sometimes. Okay. I thought they did White Album. Who did White Album? Was that Silverlink too? Silverlink as well? Not a sequel to Silverlink? 7 arcs? What? What? Wait, what? What? I don't know. Okay. I guess I just don't know. Alright. Wood Studio... say at the bottom of A. They're very good in terms of production. Again, it's like... sort of like Ufotable, where they're mostly held back by the fact that I don't think they play to their strengths. And by strengths, I mean the things that I like in anime. And they're mostly just doing kind of dark action shows. But when they did Rolling Girls, when they did Great Pretender, I was very impressed. Vivi so far has been pretty good too. So I think that's a solid A. Zebek. What all do they do? Pervert shows for perverts. And weirdo shows for weirdos. And boomer shows for boomers. And something called Triage X, which has also got butt. So I've seen a few of these things. Reno Lagrange was like alright, but kind of alright in spite of its production rather than because of it. These are fun series, but they're not super well produced. Most of the production value, I think, is just in making funny reference and maybe paying for the rights to do certain parodies. Zebek, whatever, can go kind of around the bottom of C tier. Oh, Yayuyozu! Whoa, I didn't even think this would be in here. All right, controversial. Putting these guys in A. No, that's too controversial. Putting these guys around here. So this is the studio that did Kimono Friends and Community Kusa, and other weird projects by what's that guy's name? Tatsuki? Yeah. No. Studio. Like, I haven't watched this. Both of these I quite liked, and I think the way they make anime is so unique and so interesting. Just the type of animation they use. It reminds me of cutscenes in PS1 Final Fantasy games, which probably doesn't sound appealing to a lot of people, but I think it's like very lovely and very charming and very immersive in an interesting way. So I put them pretty high. I'm really curious to see what other kind of projects they put out, especially stuff from Tatsuki. Tatsuki, I think, is just some sort of extremely weird genius who I don't know. He's gonna make a masterpiece someday. It hasn't happened yet, but someday he's going to make something very, very special, I think. It is within him. This huge weirdo. This was like a nice show. I enjoyed this a lot too. It's very laid back. Okay. Yumeta, I don't know. 0G, I don't know. This I don't know. All right, we did it. Oh my gosh, that took forever. I have no idea why I thought this. I literally think because I've been watching YouTube videos, which are people making tier lists, and it's been like heavily edited to like the highlights or whatever, which I'm not gonna do. Do not ever expect that from the Keats the YouTube channel. But I somehow got into my mind that I would be able to make similar tier lists in 10 minutes as well. Instead, we have spent an hour talking about anime studios. And I'm fine with that. I'm more than fine with that. That was fun. I don't know. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope my picks weren't too controversial. I don't think they're very controversial at all. I don't really have any hot takes. And this is again with like a lot of reverence to how good I think they are as anime studios. If it was just like a list of who's made my favorite shows, it wouldn't be that different. It'd be kind of more like this maybe. But I wanted to capture more like I didn't mean to put Matos down there, by the way. I was just trying to rearrange it a bit. I don't know. Just trying to capture like how much I think they contribute to an anime that they're working on as a studio. All right, that's enough. More tier lists to come. Hopefully easier ones like fast food or something. Bye bye.